traders and aspiring traders. So, welcome to today's episode of the weekly preview, the week that runs from the 25th to 29th of August 2025. So, let's get into it. So, first of all, we start on the weekly chart so that you can see what the previous week did in relation to the other week. So, let's see. So, you can see that last week was bearish on US100. It traded below the previous week candle and also its week, and it swept all the previous week liquidity, but it was able to come back and close inside the range. So that is a hint for bullish price action. I will also go out and look at US 500, which also did the same, but it printed a bullish candle. And if you remember, last week was showing bullish tendencies on US 500, and the US 100 was very bearish, but all that looks like a retracement looking at it from a weekly perspective, because you can see that we have a very large wick on the lower side on both candles, on both assets, US 100 and US 500. So in my opinion, and from that analysis, I think that we are going to continue with the bullish price action. And as I have said, I have no reason to notice that price has shifted gears to any bearish price action long term. And as we are entering the months of September, October, November, and December, I want to see a very bullish run on all the assets and even the USD related forex pairs. So what do I want to see on this weekly chart? So basically I want to see this week that was created being respected, the 0.5 level of it. I want it to be respected. I do not want to see a close on the daily candle below the 0.5 level. So that is what I will be looking at on the weekly chart. So let's mark it out. We have that 0.5 level. I want to see price remain above that on both assets if we are to remain bullish throughout the week. And this is the last week of August, so things might slow down a bit because we have had so much price action over the month, but I still expect that we might form a new high this week, and I want to see this being respected. 0.5 level. Okay, so basically that is what I want to see the weekly chart. We swept the previous week high, closed back inside, and printed a bullish candle on US 500. So that is a sign of bullish price action. While on US 100, we had bearish price action, but we were able to come back and close inside the range of that previous week. So that gives me more confidence that we are going to be bullish. So after that, after I've marked my weekly levels, I will go down to so I'll just delete this because it is not important to us right now. Yes. So I will go back to I will now narrow down to the one day chart, the daily chart, so that we can see what levels I was looking at from yesterday. And I'm doing this on a Tuesday, which is not the usual, but Tuesday is even better to do it because Monday has already printed, and we do not trade on Mondays because, as I have been saying, I wait for Monday to print so that I can develop more confluences for my weekly buyers. Just let me just squeeze this back in so that we can see it from even when you zoom. Okay, so what did Monday do yesterday? Monday opened, it opened higher than the close and then it traded lower, and after its the completion of its candle, what we now have is a daily fair value gap right here. We have a daily fair value gap. Okay, we have that. We have that daily fair value gap. Just bring back the so that you can know what asset I'm working on. Okay, so we have that daily fair value gap right there on US 500. We also have the same fair value gap on US 100. So going forward this week, apart from the 0.5 level that I have marked on the weekly chart, on the daily chart, what I want to see, what I want to observe is price's reaction to this fair value gap. Will it close? Will it fully refill it? Will we have a close below it? And will it respect the consequent encroachment of the fair value gap? Because consequent encroachment is the middle of this fair value gap. We can also use the gun box and divide that fair value gap into four quadrants, but let's just work with the fair value gap. Maybe I'll teach that next time, or I'll use it on another video. So on the daily chart, this is what I want to observe. I want to see price react to this in a bullish manner. So I do not, if we are to remain bullish, I do not want to see price refill this. I do not want to see price close below probably the 0.5 level, right? But I would also allow it as long as the weekly 0.5 level is being respected. So today being a Tuesday, it's a trading day, so I will be looking for longs at 9:30. As we can see, we have already swept the previous day low, which can be so we have swept the sell side liquidity, this week's sell side liquidity that has already built up, so we can be looking for long setups later in the day. So yes, that is my weekly preview. Thank you for tuning in. um I think I've left out a very important part, which is the fundamental analysis. I'm sorry about that. Looking at the Forex Factory, we do not have any important, any high impact news over the week. So it will be a pretty good trading week, and I look forward to it. So yes, thank you for tuning in. See you next time. See you on the next episode.